You're listening to Inside the Mix, Episode 4. Welcome to the Inside the Mix podcast. I'm your host, Marc Matthews, and I am excited to have you here with me today. Whether you're a synth music producer, artist, or enthusiast, I promise you'll get something out of this show. Every fortnight, I serve up interviews with synth music artists and provide you with an insight into their careers, creative processes, influences, and music industry tips and stories. So let's dive in. Okay, so welcome to episode 4 of the Inside the Mix podcast. I'm your host, Marc Matthews, and in today's episode, I'm joined by Frank and Louis of We Are Magonia. So thanks for joining me, guys. Welcome, thank you. Good morning as well.
Good morning.
Thank you. Hey, thank you for inviting us. Sorry.
Okay, not a problem,
first intervention.
So I've got your bio here. So I got this bio from your, I think it was from your Twitter actually. So a dark synth cyberpunk horror outfit from Lyon in France. Is that correct?
That's it.
Spot on, yes. Man. So you got dark synth cyberpunk, which is great. I think I was chatting with you a while back, Frank, about your influences, and am I right in thinking there's a slight metal influence in there as well?
Yeah, not a lot, I would say, but no. not only metal, but mainly metal. Sure.
Nice, man, nice. So you touch on the horror aspect of it. Do you just before we get into the other questions, do you have a favorite horror film or like horror genre?
As we said in other interviews, we like horror music, but personally, I don't know about maybe Louis or the third member, which is still sleeping, I think. I'm not a big fan of horror flicks.
Okay.
I really like horror music, but never been even in the 80s or 90s. I'm not a fan of horror cinema. It's mainly about music.
All right, fair enough. What about yourself, Louis? Would you say it's a similar?
Well, horror movie always spooked me out, but I think I can watch them now that I'm a little bit grown up. But when I was a kid, I couldn't watch them. Like now, it gets better, and especially the movies from the 70s, 80s, 90s, or kind of old. So, I mean, the first time you watch, I recently watched the Freddy Krueger original. It's like it's kind of funny, the effects back in the days were not as good as today. So yeah, I kind of like, but I think I like them because of the music too. I mean, the music brought me into them.
Yeah, 100%. Things like John Carpenter when you think of like
exactly.
Halloween and yeah, totally, man, totally. So I was sort of going through your social media. So congrats on you got 1.3 million streams in 2020. I saw on Spotify, which is awesome, guys. Well done. Congrats. I was on Bandcamp as well. I listened to the Rhythmics remix. Yeah, man, I love that when it breaks down towards the sort of like the halfway through the track. What made you choose the Rhythmics for a remix track? just a random choice.
Well, when you work on a remix, the hard part is finding a track you like, but where you can add something. If the track is already perfect, you can't remix it, or you will just have something worse than the original. So that's not the point. So, and we also have to find some tracks that are, don't know how to say that, but where we can have something in related to We Are Magonia, I mean, right. Musically, melodically, and such. So not all tracks are good to remix, I mean, for us. Yeah. And we also try to keep known tracks, because if you remix a track and nobody knows the original, that's not really the point neither.
Yeah.
And that's it, I think.
Yeah, that makes sense, man. So you're remixing a track that is popular anyway, and it's well known, and it's kind of like it's linked to your style. It's linked to your style. Yeah.
And furthermore, I think we try to remix tracks that are not well known, but I think the point here would be to just have fun remixing a track. And we could do this too, like we find a track, nobody knows it, we like it, we want to remix it, the remix is cool, we're gonna do it and release it. There's no problem. But also the stems quality is a little bit stems quality are really unequal when you're looking for multi-tracks for the remix. When you look on the internet, all the multi-tracks are not the same, and some of them are poorly recorded, poorly exported, and so it plays also. So sometimes you have some track. I think we had a track like a really good track that we wanted to remix, but the stems were like awful and horrible audio quality, and we couldn't do it.
Oh, you can still, in this case, you can still remix it like dubstep style remix, or where you only have the intro and maybe the first chorus of the original song as a master track, and then have a build up and go into a personal drop without keeping anything from the original track. But that's less interesting, I think. But
yeah, that sounds great.
Interesting, sorry.
Yeah, that's cool, man. That's cool. So, your most, if we remove ourselves from like the Rhythmics remix. So, the Living Will Envy the Dead, released in 2019. Was that your like last major release?
Yep.
Last major release. Yep. What's the sort of feedback with from the industry, from fans, etc.? What's been the general feedback on the release?
It's been really cool, and we got some support from our friend, the 80s guy, with his YouTube channel.
Nice.
Where we got a fair amount of views, I must say. Brilliant. Thanks to him for that. And I mean, most often people who liked an album will give a feedback, but maybe a little bit less about those who didn't like it. So the feedback have been really good.
Fantastic. Also, as well, I noticed that you've got emulation presets available. Arturia OBX, is that right? Emulation presets available. So for the listeners, where can they find those presets if they want to sort of adopt or sort of use some of your sound in their own production?
On the website?
Yeah, on the Arturia's website.
It's actually on the Arturia website.
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant.
It's been I don't know, commandé, JBen.
Ordered? Yeah,
ordered by Arturia when they released the first version of the OBX.
Yeah.
We first made some factory presets which are included in the release, in the original release, and then nice. as we got many presets and they don't want to put it all in the original release, they say, let's make an add-on for people who want more sound from you or more sound in that genre, to be purchased on our website. So it's on Arturia's website right now.
Awesome, man. What I'll do is I'll put a link to the Arturia website and OBX, etc. in the podcast episode description. So if anybody wants to check out those presets, they can go to the Arturia website and get those. So
we
cool.
use them. We use those presets. So it's not just presets that we program. We use them in our tracks and our songs.
Cool, man.
Yeah.
Cool. No, that's great, man. It's great to share like your sound with an audience. It's fantastic.
And about synthesizers presets, we also have another bank for Tal Uno, which is an Juno 6 emulation.
Nice.
And if people starts from presets, they can find it on the Patch Bay, which is a UK website with a lot of dope presets for different scenes. So
nice, man. I'll chuck that in there as well. Yeah. I'll chuck it all in there, man. I'll link you up. So moving on to your music. So influences wise, sort of, you touched on earlier that you like the horror sound. So what brought you to the sound that you have? What brought you to dark synth cyberpunk? What first influenced you? What first caught your ear with that sort of sound?
Yeah, go on, Luis.
One day I was in the car with him, and he just made me listen to something that was in that vibe, and I liked it. I guess that's how I discovered it.
Yeah.
He said, "Hey, listen to that." It was like cyberpunk, dark synths shit. I don't remember what it was, and I just liked it. That's how I discovered. And then we are also he is a lot into real synthesizers, and we like playing with that. Like, he has a lot of real synthesizers.
Like hardware synths. Hardware
synths.
Yeah, so, Frank, what hardware have you got? What
what hardware I got now, or what hardware I had in my life? Because I used to have a lot of synthesizers, but right now I try to focus mainly on modular shit.
Okay.
I have different systems. One for making kind of improvisational techno music, and another to make more vintage type sounds with, tape wow and flutters and all those kind of shit. But right now, also I've got those two big modular systems. I've got a Juno 6, a real one, not the emulation.
I'm jealous.
I got GP8X from Roland. I've got Poly 18 from Korg. I just sold my Poly 6 since I wasn't using it as much as I should. Let me check in the studio. I have a Korg MS 2002. Then some other shit. A Moog Model D Arturia Micro Freak, which is very nice for such little synths, and it's not really expensive. So you make music, check and maybe grab one if you like it. It's nice synths for the price. A Korg MS 22. I think that's it. I don't have any Prophet anymore, but I used to have one Prophet 6 and one Prophet Rev 2.
Oh, I'm jealous.
Well, that basically, the interest in old synths brought us to write things with them. But as we are influenced by metal and horror music and, dark music in general, that's what came out.
Amazing.
It's like evil guys playing old synthesizers. That's how I.
That's metal with synthesizers.
Yeah, that's such a cool way of describing it. That's such a good way of describing it. So going back to I suppose looking at your background as musicians, obviously you've got the synthesizer element to it. So Frankie, you've got a synth. Do you play any other instruments? Do you play like guitar, bass, drums? Either of you?
I play guitar.
You play guitar.
We play guitar.
So
and I just play synthesizers, and I played badly.
Yeah. So looking at like the guitar aspect of things, what influences you as a guitarist, Louis?
Actually, a lot of the 80s neoclassical scene. When I was a kid and I started learning guitars, I wanted to. My first big discovery was Deep Purple, so Ritchie Blackmore, which which inspired me a lot, and then Yngwie Malmsteen, which basically is the Ritchie Blackmore's spiritual son in terms of playing fast and neoclassical scales, etc. And then I kind of forgot all these because when you're like 15, 16, 17, you want to be a guitar hero, and then you get into a metal band and you start playing like rhythmic shit and starting to play with a metronome and playing live, and you forget about these. And which is cool about the Magonia is that it brings me back to my 14-year-old myself and gets me back into neoclassical. So I think my guitar background would be neoclassical.
Amazing. That's great. How long have you been playing for? How many years?
Since I'm I've been playing, I think, 15 years. Wow.
Yeah,
just
it's amazing.
Just
when you think about it. Yeah, you quantify it without actually how many years you've been playing. I've been playing guitar for...
Damn, we're old.
I think I've been playing for about 17, 18 years. I think I've been playing guitar. Yeah.
Oh,
a tiny bit
that's
longer.
a lot, too.
Yeah. Mind you, I haven't picked it up in ages, to be fair.
Yeah, we should work on a featuring or something like that.
Yeah, man, that'd be amazing. That'd be so good. So, Frank, do you say you play guitar as well? Or is it just the synths?
No, I don't play guitar well.
No,
I can play some kind of basic mosh part with only zeros, but that's all. I play the keys, but even the keys is not my main instrument. I mean, I'm more of the sound designer, sound engineer.
Right, I get you. Yeah.
Than a real player. I mean, I can play easy parts, but forget about the fast arpeggio part you find in Magonia. I can't definitely play it live. I can write it.
Yeah.
I can make the sound for it and mix it, master it, but I'm not a really good keyboard player, to be honest.
No, I'm very much the same when it comes to sound design and like the releases I have. It's all if playing it live, I probably wouldn't be able to do it. But much like yourself, set up an ARP or something, and I can program it and design it. But yeah, I'll have to get somebody else to play
that's it.
Yeah,
we're kind of more mouse writers.
Yeah.
We're mouse writers more than keyboard players.
Depending on the parts, I mean, some lead parts or softer parts, or maybe slow phrasing, we can play it, or at least we can search for it on the keyboard, then maybe record it, quantize it, or just maybe search it, then write it with the mouse or something.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah, I think that's quite a common way of writing now. You find a lot of sort of producers are doing that way. It's just so accessible for anybody who wants to write and create music, being able to use a mouse and not actually having to have a background of playing piano or playing keys, and you can still write music.
I mean, I would like to know playing keys. Like we worked on some track, and I personally worked on his last album as a sound engineer. Sorry for my English again.
No.
But Seismic, maybe you heard of him. Is a really good piano player, and each time I show it a new track, and he listened to it just one time, and then he finds back like all the melodies just by ear, and he is able to play it right after listening to the track. It's blew me up. Honestly, I would like to have that skill, but I haven't.
I think that's the what's the average? It's like 10,000 hours, I think, to master something. Yeah. You need to put it's those 10,000 hours that he's put in. So, with regards to like your musical journey as a band, where are you at the moment? How long have you been an outfit? How long have you been around creating and releasing music?
You mean in Magonia or
in Magonia, yeah.
Magonia, I think we released the first track, which was Terror, in 2017, I think.
2017. So into your fourth year now. And in terms of your musical journey, where are you at the moment? I mean, are you part of a record label, or are you still releasing independently? Do you aspire to be on a label, or are you happy to do sort of like the DIY thing?
We released
go on.
We released the two first albums by ourselves, and we hope to get I mean, if we could get an interesting deal with an interesting record company, we wouldn't say no.
Yeah.
But I think we're not in that. We don't want to absolutely be signed just to be signed.
Yeah.
Yes.
But if we find an interesting record company that is interested in our music, is interested in our project, and we can find a cool deal and everything, I mean, we would be happy.
Amazing.
Yeah. So, to add something about what Louis said, as you said, we released both our two first albums by ourselves. We made everything on those albums by ourselves. I mean, mainly with the exception of the cover of the Living Will on the Dead, which was made by a friend of us, Hugo Barbier, which is a really nice, a really good illustrator.
Yeah.
We made everything by ourselves. Even the first cover, the cover of Apocalypse, we made it ourselves. We made the composing, the mixing, the mastering, all by ourselves. And now we are at a point where we know what we can do properly, and we also know what we can't do properly. And if we try to reach to be seen on the label, the point will be mainly about help us on what we can't do properly by ourselves. Like PL, like sync, like all those kind of shits. We really want to maintain that control on our music, on the technical side and the artistic side. But sometimes some help is welcome too. And
100%. It's got to be right for you, hasn't it, as an artist? If you get assigned to a label, I think it's like Louis said. You don't want to sign to a label just because you signed to, just because
Yeah.
It's got to
just because we have to sign on it. It has to. And but the cool part is that we're kind of like he said. We made. I mean, if you look at the first album we released, everything was made by ourselves. The music, the production, the photo on the cover, the Photoshop thing on the cover, everything was done by. It's a full DIY project. I mean, actually the visual of the second album is the first time we actually called a third party to work on something with us. Visually speaking, because we know our limits too, and we know we couldn't made a second Apocalypse cover
and
as good as it was.
You got to know when to outsource, know when to get help. 100%.
That's kind of a problem in the retro music scene today. Most beginners artists want to sing on the label just to be, hey, I'm a real musician, I'm on that label. But honestly, we got some offers about deals with some synthwave labels, which was just fucked up. Sorry, but that's it. And I think that's a problem in this scene, because going DIY is cool, and try to make gather of people who wants the genre to evolve and shit is nice. But the problem is most people, or some people at least, don't know what it takes to run a label, to push artists, to manage shit, and it ends with a whole lot of label doing basically nothing for their artists. And I think it has to change. And honestly, if we see now on an A label, it won't be a specialized synthwave or retro or electronic label. I think it had to be a metal label with a fair amount of background and some real abilities to drive artists.
Yeah, that's fantastic, man. I suppose that leads on quite nicely, really. I mean, everything that yourself, Frank, and Lou, you've said there. My next question was going to be like, what advice would you give to an independent artist? And I suppose basically what you've just said there is pretty good advice for any independent artist. Specifically, though, it's a case of if the label comes calling, don't automatically jump at that label, and it's got to be right for you and both parties.
Sometimes there can be points that are good to you, but not most. And wait, don't sing on the label just to say I'm signed on the label. I'm a real artist. Just see if they really have something to help you, and if they have the skills, the the network and all that.
Yeah, 100%, man. It's great advice. So, in conversation with you, you said that you've been in the studio this week. So, what are your plans for like new music in 2021 or 22? Are you guys writing? Are you recording? What phase are you in at the moment?
Writing.
Yeah.
Searching for new things to write and trying to piece up a few tracks and seeing where we go, where it goes, trying new techniques and new genres and a lot of things, discovering ourselves a little bit more.
Nice, man. So for our audience, so if they had to listen to one song from We Are Magonia, which song would you?
None.
I don't know. Actually, it's kind of hard to answer because we have this tendency to have a lot of different tracks in a lot of different moods in our albums.
Yeah.
If you look at the last one, you've got a kind of central thing in the music, which is the soul of the band, which is into each track, but you have a lot of different tracks, different tempos, different vibes. The first track is Cyberpunk. The last one is just a piano ballad, and in the center you've got a like trap music. It will be really hard. I mean, depending on your musical taste and what you like and you don't like, it will be hard to just push you towards one song only.
Yeah, picking one song in general. I suppose it would be when you've got all those different styles going on. You're gonna. It depends on the person who's listening.
Yeah, exactly.
When I was checking out the album, the song that stood out for me was they're gonna try and pronounce this now. Diabolos in Musica.
That's perfect.
Exactly.
Go
exactly.
Me. Yeah, I thought that. I mean, personally, that appeals to me as an artist and as a listener. I think that song's fantastic. I really, really enjoy it. But once again, like I say, I guess there's going to be somebody else who listens to that album and picks a different one. But no, man, that's such a good track. So my next question is, I suppose I could get one of these from each of you. If you could only listen to one record, if you could only listen to one more record, full-length album, which one would it be?
Oh,
you mean for the rest of our lives?
Yeah. If you got for the rest of your lives, one album.
Honestly, that's not. I can't choose. I think I would rather decide to not listen to music anymore. I can stand a single album over and over, or even if there's some album I really like and I can listen a lot of times. But now that's too hard to pick.
That's a pretty good answer, though. Just say like I'd rather not listen to music altogether. That's a pretty good answer, man.
I think honestly, we all have different tastes, but we all have a broad range of tastes in music. Personally, I really like to listen many different genres of metals, like from deathcore to neoclassical, to some kind of power metal or more vintage heavy metal, as they say.
Yeah.
I like some 70s progressive rock. I like some hip hop. I like some different kind of electronic music, from techno to drum and bass to no, that's not possible to choose, honestly.
Yeah, we are really broad. We really have a lot of broad influences. I mean, I listen to black metal, hardstyle, psytrance and classical music and all. I mean, but if I'm gonna play the game, I mean, I like his answer, but I'm gonna play the game. Yeah. If I had to listen to one album, Cold Hearted, and if I piece up everything and I do the math, I think it could be an Igor album, which it's a French. No, because because I don't know if you know the artist. It's like
no.
It's a French artist which mixes a lot of genres, and it's really difficult to describe like this. But
he mixes a lot of genres, then read it with like some odd techno beats on it.
Imagine a harpsichord part but with a drum and bass beat on it, and then a opera singer, and Eastern accordion, classic, Eastern music, and when the accordion, and I kind of like all his discography. I can listen to all his discography because it's very broad. Yeah. So if I had to listen, I mean, it's like if you put a gun on my head and you say you choose one, it could be Igor because of the variety of what I will be listening. I mean, I can't pick a metal album. I mean, I don't want to listen to blast beats until I die. It's just blast beats repeating.
Yeah.
But so I guess if I do the math, it could be an Igor album.
Amazing, man. I'll you have to send me links to the I think Frank mentioned an artist earlier, and also that artist as well, and I'll check them out and put them in the notes.
Yeah, Seismic.
Yeah, that was it. So I'll send me the link to those. So
yeah, sure.
What I'm going to do, I'm going to wrap it up now. So where can the audience find you on social media and or website?
Facebook, Bandcamp, Instagram, SoundCloud.
Yeah, SoundCloud. Cool. Yeah.
What I'll do is I'll put all links to those in the episode notes as well, so anybody to our listeners can just go down and go refer to those links. But yeah, brilliant, guys. Thanks for joining me today. I really appreciate you stopping by on a Sunday morning.
Yeah. Thanks for the invitation.
No, not a problem, man. Not a problem. I'll keep an eye out for your new stuff. Hopefully, maybe later in the year, or when you do have some new material. It'll be great for you guys to jump back on. We can have a chat about your new stuff you're going through.
Yeah. It will be a pleasure.
Spot on, chaps. All right, brilliant. Nice talking to you guys. And there we have it. That is the end of episode 4. A huge thank you to We Are Magonia for dropping by, and please do keep an eye out for their latest releases and news. Social media links are available in the episode description. I hope you were able to take something away from this episode, and please do subscribe and review via Apple Podcasts or Podchaser. Links are once again provided in the episode description. If you would like to know more about me as a producer, mixer, mastering engineer, please do visit my website www.markmatthewsproducer.com or reach out via Instagram or Facebook. Website and social media links are provided once again in the episode description. And don't forget to subscribe to the podcast and look out for episode 5, which will drop in 2 weeks, Tuesday at 6 a.m. Greenwich Mean Time. Thanks for listening.